What's up guys, Huso7 here, and today I've got a quick video showing off some of the differences as shown in the multiplayer reveal from Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer and, like Call of Duty Black Ops or Modern Warfare 3, some of the other Call of Duty games that we're familiar with. So one of the major differences that we'll just jump right into is this idea of building your squad. You see they showed this pretty short little clip here with all the players, and what you see is here that it says your soldier. Your soldiers, you actually have 10 soldiers that level independent from each other. They each have their own little, you can see kind of like emblems, and it looks like they have their own I don't know, camos, and they're all customized their own way. So, and you actually can specify what each one of these soldiers looks like, and because they level independently from each other, and you can get to a max prestige level with each one, it's actually like having 10 different levels of prestige. You're just actually prestiging once on 10 different characters, but you customize the characters, the gender, what they look like, and their loadouts totally separately. So that's kind of interesting. I'm assuming that means that you also are going to have 10 custom classes, because you probably have one custom loadout per character, at least is what I'm thinking right now. And so this makes up what's called your squad, and your squad sort of levels, and as you level with your character you gain something called squad points, and your squad points are used to unlock weapons similar to COD points in I believe that was Black Ops 1, or some kind of currency. These squad points are what lets you purchase your weapons. So you can see when they're purchasing weapons here, and this is when you're able to kind of customize everything that's going on here, but you use your squad points for that. So let's take a look quick here at the create a class menu. So this is the create a class menu, or the create a character menu or whatever. So you see that the character's on the right. That's what he's got. This is his, you see he's got his primary weapon, and it looks to the right of that like that's a camo select, because this was just a reveal. It's like an alpha build of the game, so it doesn't look like they applied a camo, but I'm thinking that that's what that is. If you see that faint little kind of design to the right, I think that means camo. And then beneath it, it looks like there are slots for 4 different attachments. Now it was stated in the multiplayer reveal that attachments are free. There is like a point system, but attachments are free. So I'm thinking that this may mean that you can actually have up to 4 attachments on your gun, which could be crazy, but looking at this, unless I'm seeing things, I kind of zoomed it in a little bit, but it looks potentially like there are 2 sights on this guy's gun. So it looks like there's some kind of ACOG sight, maybe a red dot or something. So maybe there's just a mistake there, but it does look like there's potentially 4 slots for attachments, as well as 2 slots for attachments on secondary, and then a lethal and a tactical. Beneath that, there's a few things that are kind of blurred. The first slot where you see there's the 8 boxes, that's for perk, and beneath that, if you can see it, it says strike package none, and there are 3 slots for the strike package. So that's what that create a class menu looks like. Since I was talking about perks, let's jump over here. I got this screen up here for perks. I'm not going to go too much in depth into this because I actually did a whole video on the perks, so feel free to find the link in the description or click on it in the end of the video, because I'll have a link that'll take you there. But in the perks section, I talk about how perks are going to work, and perks work very differently. You are allocated 8 points, and the perks all have a point value, and you actually specify perks based on their point value. So honestly, I think it's going to be a really good setup and a really cool system. It works similar to the way that Homefront worked, if you've ever played that game, and I'm really excited to see how that works and making some cool combinations of spending these 8 points. Do you want to take 6 or 7 small perks, or do you want to take like one of these big hitters? Like if there's a perk on here, you notice it costs 5 points called Deadeye. So is that your setup? You'll have a lot more customization, a lot more control over your character with the perks and how they're laid out in Call of Duty Ghosts. Onto movement, there's 2 new features in the game. The first is a slide. So you see this is kind of like the dolphin dive that's been in the Call of Duty Black Ops games, but in this the character just runs, slides on his knees, and then is in a crouch position where he's able to begin firing at his enemies. And there's also a contextual lean now. It's not on a button, but if you come up to certain walls and aim down your sight, your character will automatically pop out from behind what he's looking at and begin aiming at their target. So I think that those are 2 really cool movement features. I've heard from some of the people that have got to play the game that the movement in this game just feels very fluid, very smooth in terms of the mantling process, how you climb over objects, and so that sounds really cool. And in addition to, one of the brand new features in this game is Destructible environment. So I'll just go ahead and let this clip speak for itself. So there you go, you can see that that gas station came down on the players. So you can use the destructible environments to your advantage in order to open up new lines of sight or new areas to get to, as well as you can use it to your advantage to get kills. If you were able to see the trailer video, you saw that someone shot that bus and that bus kind of fell off the cliff, so that was a way that the player was able to get some kills off of that as well. Alright, so next let's talk about field orders. That's something that you may have saw in that last gameplay clip, but you see I'll put this screenshot up here. It says, field orders received, kill 2 enemies while they're crouched. So if you watch in the gameplay clip, you'll see that there's one time when one of the players is killed and drops this kind of like blue spinning briefcase. If that happens and you pick that briefcase up, it'll cap very quickly, just kind of standing on it. You will get something called field orders. If you have the field orders, all you have to do, you can see in the screenshot, it says to kill 2 enemies while crouched. If you are able to accomplish that, they range from all different things. Kill an enemy while in the air, kill an enemy with a grenade, kill an enemy with melee, kill an enemy with a score streak, anything like that. If you're able to accomplish that task, then you get a free care package, which could potentially contain the Odin Strike. The Odin Strike, you can see, if you look on the screenshot, also the kind of like Grim Reaper icon, that's because it has been dropped in this map. The Odin Strike, there's a lot of people talking about it on YouTube right now. It's similar to the Moab or the Nuke. It will kill all players on the enemy team, and it will dramatically change the environment. So like we talked about that clip at the gas station in changing the environment, you will completely change the map. There'll be new lines of sight opened up, new buildings opened up that weren't previously, because the map basically becomes a whole new map when the Odin Strike goes off. Now, in this clip, if you watch the multiplayer reveal, there's a lot of people on YouTube right now that are upset about the Odin Strike, saying, oh, we don't think that that's fair if players are able to get that so easy. I'm pretty sure what I heard the person say is that if you complete your field orders, you get a random care package. The reason why the players have been getting Odin Strikes in the alpha build is because they're trying to show off that as a new feature. I don't think that every single time you complete the field orders you're going to get an Odin Strike. I just think that there's a possibility of getting an Odin Strike. So I'm going to cover a kill streak video. Again, you can find a link in the description for that, where I'll talk about if the Odin is a kill streak and go into a little more detail than that. But that's basically what I want to talk about with the field order. So that gives a new kind of level to gameplay that I guess is similar to contracts in Call of Duty Black Ops 1, but this is kind of a new way that you're rewarded for that. So while I got this image up, let's just show a quick little clip here from the same gameplay on this map. I believe it's called Strike Zone. And I want you to direct your attention to the top right corner here, because this is the new scoreboard. You can see it's no more kind of like popping up on your screen, taking up space. That's what the new scoreboard looks like. It's pretty cool, it's pretty compact, and it will pop up right on your screen in the top right. So leave in the comments, let me know what you think about the new scoreboard. Did you like the old one? Do you like the new one? Personally, I kind of think that it's cool, that it's it's not very restrictive when you're playing, but it's also a little bit harder to look at, and it's kind of still directing your attention even farther away from the center of your screen. So let me know what you think about that. Also, let's take a quick look at the HUD. I've got a screenshot here of just a example heads-up display, so you can see a few different things that are changed as well as a few different things that are similar. So you've got your domination, it's actually I think this is cranked. You can see it right there. It says cranked. So you got your score down at the bottom where it says 1624. Those counters that are counting up. You can see the perks on the left side of the screen here. Again, these will disappear. The opacity will be turned up as you begin moving, but this person is just freshly spawning in. You can see the map is located up in the top left corner, and there's a little sound symbol meaning that the player is talking. Under that, you can see where the player says it's cranked. That's unique to the game mode cranked. I made a video about cranked and the game modes that are in Call of Duty Ghosts, so feel free to check the link for the description. Or find a link at the end, but if you want to check that out. Again, then you have your mini scoreboard up in the top right. If you press select, it will be a the larger scoreboard, but this is cool that it shows you the player that's in first place. So that's kind of cool. You're able to see who it is, as well as kind of like what kills and deaths they have going on. And then you see that the kill feed is actually located on the top right, just under that. So that's kind of a new location for the kill feed. If you look down in the bottom right corner, you can see that that's your ammo count. You see he's got a lethal and a tactical grenade, it looks like, showing under that. And right to the right of that is your kill streaks. And to just the left of that, you see where it says P226. That's just his weapon attached. So that's all pretty familiar in terms of HUD. That's all stuff we've seen before. But the HUD has been redesigned, and things are in some new locations, like that score streak or that kill feed. The other thing I want to show you a screenshot of real fast here is the kill cam. Kill cams work a little bit differently. You can see here on this kill cam that it shows you the player's loadout. So not only does it show you like where you got killed from and how, but you can see that he's using the vector, the weapon. You can see the attachments. It looks like that's a silencer, a grip, a sight, and also even the perks that he's got. He's got sleight of hand, lightweight, strong arm, takedown, and off the grid. So you can even see his perks and his entire setup here with the way that Killcam has been redesigned. And finally, I want to show you 4 of my favorite features that are going to be integrated new into this game. So the first one is that there's a new melee kind of like animation. So let me just show you this clip real fast. You can see this guy gets a knife both in the front, and he runs out here and gets a knife in the back. So we'll talk about the armor he's wearing in a minute, but 2 new knife animations. And now I also pause the screen right here on this scope. You see this is right from the multiplayer reveal. The thing I'm showing off about the scope is that this is a dual rendering of the world. So you can see that even though he's zoomed in on the scope, if you look to the right and the left of the scope, there's kind of like this, fuzzy world around him. That has never been in a Call of Duty game before. They just haven't had, I don't know, the time to handle that, or maybe the power to handle that. But in this area, even when you're aiming down your scope, you're still able to see the world around you. It just becomes blurry, and that's going to be really cool. It's going to prevent you from getting snuck up on, and I think that that is going to be a really cool feature. So another feature that I want to show off that's really cool that I kind of got to just let speak for itself is the audio. So I'm going to just go ahead and play this clip so you can see the different way that the audio works. So that's pretty amazing. If you heard that, that's the audio kind of in different places. You saw that the sound actually changed from when the player was kind of standing in that little shipping crate as opposed to when he was outside. So the sound is going to change much the way that it would kind of in real life with weapons. If you're a gun person and you like to shoot weapons, you know that it sounds different if you're outside in a field as opposed to in kind of a close area. So that's actually like a pretty kind of cool feature that I'm excited about in terms of the audio. I think that's going to be really cool. And next I want to show you just one more feature, which is called Battle Chatter. So if you heard those players, the NPCs, just the other characters on your team, are actually calling out enemies' location. You heard him say there's a player on the bridge, there's an enemy movement by that. They actually call out things that these people see, as well as kind of areas they are. So over by the red building, that's going to be really cool because that's going to enable you to kind of have an edge on your enemies, even if other players that you're playing with don't have a headset or don't feel comfortable calling out where people are at. So that's some changes. The final thing I want to talk about is that there is a care package located on each of these maps, or at least on all the maps that we've seen so far. And this care package is there. It spawns at the start, and players can kind of like race to go and find it. And if they find that care package, then they're able to acquire it and use it. And some of them are apparently hidden on the map. So there's a lot of big changes coming to Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer, and I am really excited to experience all of them and to see what this game has in store for us coming when it drops in November. So thanks for watching. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. I got 2 more videos right here for you. The video on the left is perks that are going to be found in the next Call of Duty game, and the video on the right is a little hidden Easter egg that came from the end of the reveal trailer about a new game mode called Blitz, about portals. And also be sure to check the links for my Facebook and Twitter page. Hope to see you guys in game.